Hello, and today we're going to be talking about how or whether homeschoolers can get into Ivy League schools. So, one of the questions that parents often have is, boy, can I homeschool them and still have them get into those elite schools? Don't they need to go to an elite private school or something? So, we're going to kind of talk about that question and the fears behind it in this video. We're going to begin by taking a look at what the Ivy League schools' policies are in general regarding homeschoolers and recruiting homeschoolers or trying to get homeschoolers. And we're going to look at specific requirements that Ivy League schools typically will have for their student body in general, not just homeschoolers. Then we're going to be looking at the traits that they want their student body to have or their prospective candidate to have. And we're going to look at what do you want to put together for an application, right? The application package, how to make that kind of stand out. And then lastly, we'll look at somebody who was homeschooled who achieved really exceptional success at an Ivy League school. Put yourself in the place of a college administrator, admissions department people, and they want their prospective student to excel at their college. Right? Ultimately, they want them to be able to do well, fit in, and add value to everybody else. Now, certainly, there has been a whole movement of late that's gotten a whole lot of, been even court cases about diversity and equity and all of that, right? So, potentially, and there's a lawsuit that was filed against some Ivy League schools saying that people were discriminated against based on their race, and there's Asian people who weren't getting accepted while people with lower qualifications according to the school's own standards were getting accepted. So anyways, that's kind of been playing out in the courts and decisions have been made about that. Bottom line is the schools do want successful students or students who are going to be able to be successful at their school, including homeschoolers. And at least 3 Ivy Leagues put right on their admissions information, Harvard, Princeton, and Yale, that homeschoolers are more than willing to be accepted there. And Dartmouth and Penn and all these others follow suit as well, right? So their policies are, we want the best students, doesn't matter where they come from. So college admissions department are looking at Ivy League schools, which are considered elite academic institutions, challenging. You need to be at the top of your game, your ability to absorb knowledge, spit knowledge back out, communicate effectively. All of these kind of academic skill sets really expect to be quite high at Ivy League school. So those are the requirements. So parents need to be able to show that their student who was homeschooled can meet those kind of expectations. So when you present information through transcripts, you need to kind of indicate or show that, oh boy, they took some advanced placement classes. Oh, they did some dual enrollment. Dual enrollment are typically, you get high school credit while taking a college class. So while you're in high school, you can take a class that would earn college credit at like a local university. And a Ivy League school would look at that and go, oh, this student didn't just take calculus, they took a college calculus class, right? So they are beginning to demonstrate to them that you have that ability in order to achieve at that higher thinking well. So everything you're doing as a parent are trying to check those boxes for those requirements, showing that your child has been able to write really well, test really well, show academic rigor, think clearly, problem solve, get good recommendations from people, right? From other teachers you may have had them go through, whether it's dual placement, what have you, coaches. All of those things are going to be part of those requirements that schools are looking at to see that they're going to be an appropriate candidate for one of the Ivy League schools. One of the things I have learned from people in the industry is it's rather interesting because often parents are told and heard that the well-rounded student is really what colleges want. And I'm not going to say that that's not true, but they really do look at somebody who has excelled in certain areas in their life, right? So the exceptional musician, the exceptional athlete, the exceptional artist, the exceptional theater person. I'm not saying being involved in other things they aren't looking at, but if you're just average in everything, that does not bear the same weight as being exceptional in one thing and doing other things as well. So that sort of trait of being driven with a passion towards doing something needs to be presented to them, shown up in portfolio work or your presentation of things that you've done in community service or awards you've won in theater, music, the arts, athletics, those sort of extracurricular kinds of things, academic awards as well that you may have won by submitting things to poetry contests and writing essays and anything like that are indications that the student is driven to excel, driven to improve, driven to be better, and they kind of meet in that higher level of passion towards learning, etc., that will help them be successful at an Ivy League institution. So you want to develop those characteristics in a child, and I got to go back to that mindset issue, right? That mindset you help your child develop is going to shine through in everything they do, right? It is what will show up in how they do well on tests, the academics they put through, the effort in any of their extracurriculars, their relationship with people, their ability to interview well. Every one of those things is going to be directly tied back to the beliefs that they hold in their mindset in each and every one of those areas. And those are things you need to develop and train in your child from an early age. So that's my plug once again for the importance of developing that mindset. And that really is a trait that anybody's looking for in college, business, life. So for you homeschool parents, the tips are develop your curriculum that's going to help the child develop the writing skills, verbal communication skills, that mindset that we talked about, those academic skill sets that they're going to translate into the Ivy League. Get them involved in their passion so that they can really follow that and do well in that. But round them out, get them involved in other things. But again, a child who's exceptional in one area and does other things on the side gets viewed a little bit more than somebody who's just average in a whole bunch of different things. So plan early, kind of begin to shape that out and help your child develop those sort of skills. For a real life example, I want to point out the case of Emma Cronick, who got into Princeton University in large part from her standout homeschooling background. She won a National Writing Award and did research on sustainable agriculture. And that activity, as well as all her AP classes and all those things, but it was in large part that National Writing Award in the research that she was doing in sustainable agriculture that caught the attention of Princeton and kind of went, oh, this could be a candidate. And then she began to check off all the boxes. When she got to Princeton, she did exceptionally well there and helped lead on campus work with sustainable agriculture, got her research published. She proved to be everything that Princeton wanted, and it began with her years homeschooling, and her essay that kind of got her in was all about how homeschooling allowed her to develop that academic rigor and independence that was crucial for her success. I really do invite you to subscribe to our channel. There's more and more of these videos being put up all the time as I get questions all the time. So explore those. You also may be interested in registering for our free webinar, Empower and Excel, and it's going to kind of talk about some of these issues that I deal with in all these videos, developing that mindset. So go ahead, register for that. You can find the link to that. That's going to be in the description of this video. And go watch that now.